Hello, 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 Speed Gaming 2, and welcome to the latest exciting installment in the 2023 Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. We've got a group of death matchup for you tonight. Maniacal versus Freddeh, as this group still has quite a bit to be determined. And I'm Drossi, and I'm here with another member of this group of death, Telefar. How's it feel to watch your group mates?
This should be a lot of fun. They're both really strong, and 80 keys is the best mode in the list, so I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Should be interesting. Though, as you were saying while we were setting up, you played an 80 keys match with Maniacal that went on for a ways and had some ugly locations. So hopefully, no tile room GT Big Key this time.
That was the least of it. Hopefully the boots show up before GT. That's really all we can hope for.
That would also be good. But yeah, in terms of where we're at, Maniacal is currently 0-4, so he's very pessimistically expecting to be 0-5 after this. He is mathematically eliminated from advancing, which was kind of surprising. I mean, at SpeedGaming Live, he made it to the semifinals in ALTTPR and the finals in SMZ3, so he is a really strong player. Freddeh has been to brackets many times. Sorry, you were going to say?
No, I was going to say, like, in this group, like, yeah, you can't count on anything. Like, any of the people in this group could easily advance to brackets and then go further, or just... And when you have 4 people that could do that, only 2 will.
Yeah, we should add that the 4th member of this group is Schultzer, who was last year's runner-up for the main tournament. So, Maniacal going to Uncle Freddeh, doing the 50-50 for bomb south of Grove, and did manage to pick up 1 bomb. So
Yeah.
We'll see how he routes.
Okay. So, he gets the 1 bomb. You only need the 1 because he just wants 1 for this check here.
For that glove, you mean?
Yeah, for the glove. After that, it doesn't really matter because he's going to buy bombs with the money he got out of Link's house.
Yeah, that 300 is some good seed money from Uncle.
Yeah, Maniacal pulled a bomb out of... Well, the 300 was from Link's house.
Well, I mean, Uncle left it behind rather than...
I gotcha. Picking up. So yeah, this will be interesting. Maniacal's going to go north and all that, which is, not that interesting, but the bottle is interesting. That's hopefully he remembers to sell his B. That's an extra 100, and then also we'll see what Sick Kid has.
Yeah, you basically barter the B for whatever bottle vendor has. That was a very quick library check. I didn't catch it, did you?
Nah, I wasn't watching, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't anything. We'll see it again in 3 minutes when Maniacal gets there.
Our tracker's saying sword.
Sword? That's nothing.
There are 3 others. So as you were saying, Freddeh going to buy bombs here.
Yeah, as expected. Yeah, Maniacal skipped scouting the getting a lucky bomb drop.
Oh, nice.
Skipped scouting off of Lumberjack, which I'm not a big fan of in Fad Keys. I think it's always worth it to scout. Just
yes, I noticed you won your race earlier today in part by scouting Lumberjack early.
Yeah. I mean that is fortunate for sure, but just in general, you already effectively have 2 keys to Castle Tower, so you're just a boots and a sword away from being able to go there. Now we have a cape. I guess, and a lamp, but like, it's in an open seed like this, you're probably gonna find those things before you get back.
Wow, we're already at Zora money, and the glove puts Zora in logic, though there's no logical implication for the money.
Right.
Also, Jawbreaker in the well. The first of our 6 pod smalls was in Blind's Hut. That is one of the more annoying things about a key sanity mode in my mind, the sheer number of pod smalls.
Pod's not that bad, because the thing about pod is that it's got 1 key, 4 keys, and 6 keys, and if you show up there on 2 keys, you get the 1 and the 4 done. It's like, you just need to know that you don't need to come back and have the discipline to not be like, well, I could go back there now with 3 keys and get an extra check. It's like, no, you don't need to. Like, you just wait till 5, wait till 6, wait till you actually need to be back. But if you don't do that, then yeah, pod becomes very annoying.
Yeah, you just always have it hanging over your head, harmless hellway, and big key chest.
Yeah, but I mean, that is true of. I don't think pod in particular with its 6 keys is so much the issue as the fact that it's just one of the most slow to get to locations in the game.
Yeah, except in Inverted, you have to do the hedge maze every time you want to go there.
Yeah, Maniacal went south, went and bought bombs, did this whole thing, and then opened a chest and got bombs, so I'm sure he's happy right now. If he just dropped into the well, he would have just saved, 30 or so seconds.
Yeah.
But alternatively, he would have just wasted 20 seconds dropping in the well and then to not find bombs and have to do this loop anyway, so.
So, Lumberjack is nothing, so Maniacal didn't miss out on anything by not checking it.
Yeah. We'll see if he ever goes to scout it when.
And Freddeh taking the glove and gonna do back of escape, which makes sense.
Yeah. We'll see where he goes after. Honestly, after Mini Moldorm Cave, Ice Rod Cave, Zora chat, with the money, I think it's hard to argue that he's going to do anything but go there next.
Yeah, and he has the Moon Pearl, so he can go into Waterfall Cave and set up a water walk.
Yeah.
Ooh, Desert Small. That's always nice to get out of the way, because then you don't have to think about whether you're stealing the key or anything when you go there.
So yeah, I like to go straight to Mini Moldorm Cave here and skip the dam. That way, when you do the dam later with Agina, it doesn't feel as bad, but it does. You can also get burned by whatever's sitting in the dam.
And it is 2 checks.
It is. There's good and bad to doing it. There's nothing wrong with what Freddeh is doing. My logic is that having, Mir would make this take an extra, or 10 seconds less, 15 seconds less.
True.
Going to Agina means this takes an extra, or would take 15 seconds less again. There's a lot of ways this could be slightly better, and you're just going right here. You're not going to go to Agina, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of runners are hoping they get boots and or flute before they have to go to the desert area. Oh, and Maniacal is skipping South Shore altogether and going to Saha.
That is a play. I don't know if I agree with that. That seems very aggressive here to just bail on this, because you could just full clear South Shore right now and.
Ooh, Freddeh down to his. Okay, he was getting down to his last few bombs there, but did manage to take down the Mini Moldorms. Meyer is our green pendant today, according to Saha. Oh, and Saha has a sword. That's pretty nice, considering we were fighting with bombs otherwise.
Yeah. Looks like now Maniacal's going to go down south, which somewhat orphans Eastern Palace for him, but Hopefully they don't need to go in there until later.
Yeah, in Key Sanity, you really want the bow and the big key.
While true, on the other hand, in Key Sanity, there's 4 items available in there. And, like, before you actually get Dark World access, you have a reasonable chance of needing to be in there.
Yeah, though at this point, we are 1 item away from Dark World access.
We are, but we're also, like, 4 checks away from last locating Eastern.
Fair. No, there's, well, I guess the only thing remaining in logic and escape is the map chest, right? Without the small key.
Yeah, that's correct. We have Agina, we have map chest, and we have Zora. And that's of what, the runners don't necessarily know that yet, but that's all that's left.
Jeez, yeah, it is. I mean, we can get on the mountain out of logic, we can do Dark Cross and the rest of the front of escape out of logic.
Michael is not having a good time with these Moldorms, but hopefully nothing goes wrong.
Well, he has the sword as backup.
He does have the sword as backup, but he has 1 heart as not backup.
And I believe we saw Ether on Lake Hylia Island there, so that's good to keep in the back of our minds.
And okay, he gets his full heal there, so that's very nice for having to walk past the crabs. We get a pod key out of logic.
Okay, we don't need Zora Ledge.
And with the cape and the Moon Pearl in hand for Fad Keys, you kind of are hoping to be able to combo Front of Escape with Aga.
Speaking of Aga, we do need 2 small keys to do it, but
they're in there.
Yeah, and
so like Freddeh has an interesting position now. He's gonna go up the mountain, rescue the old man. That seems not unreasonable, but like you need to do Aga anyway, and you can just do it right now. You go like when do you go take the trip over to Hyrule Castle, get Dark Cross, do Front of Escape, and then just commit to that as your Dark World access?
Yeah, well, in Freddie's case, he still needs the sword.
Yeah. So I guess, do you go into East? He's going to have a question of if he goes into Eastern or not.
Right, because then he'll have his Aga access once he does Saha. And there's also Dark Cross now in logic, so Front of Escape is looking a little more interesting. Okay, this has been a repeating thing this tournament. I don't know why so many runners have fallen down that hole with the old man.
You're trying to cut corners. I don't know what
I guess. It saves, like, what, 5 frames if you could, like, go along the edge of it, or costs you a whole lot of frames if you don't, if you fall in.
You know, sometimes you gotta go big.
Okay, so inside Spec Rock is the only thing we can get up here on the mountain. This is one of those seeds that just gives you really slow breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like... Okay, this is an interesting play from Freddeh, just not scouting this, just going and grabbing the item blind. I guess it's sort of the same idea as going to race game blind.
Burna, that doesn't really do anything.
I would definitely get it.
Yeah, grab it. I mean,
like,
why wouldn't you want it?
At the very least, it does. I mean, it does put for Freddeh at least. You know, it puts Spike Cave in logic once he gets that hammer. whereas the cape is not enough without also a potion.
Though, as we know, there's a bottle in the uncle area, which Freddie still
Yeah.
hasn't gone to. But I guess if he does wind up doing Aga, he can just combo that with escape.
Right. That's like that's what you're delaying the castle for, is to combo it with escape. So I would probably go straight and do escape into castle here as Maniacal, but he's going to go up the mountain first, which is fine. You know, you'll go up the mountain, you'll get your 2 checks, and then you'll still be in the same spot.
Now, for Freddie, do you get the 4 checks in Eastern, which are now all in logic?
Yeah, I mean, he is. It's an interesting question. He is not. Oh,
he's indecisive.
Okay, so he is not. Yeah, I mean, it's just a question of if you think that, like, you don't really save that much time by doing Aga later. You do save a little bit, right? So you're gonna have, if you can delay Aga, you're gonna have way better equipment, which saves time. You can do it with boots, maybe. And then the other big thing is that you don't have an ice rod yet, so like having the ability to leave a portal at Turtle Rock and then go do, Dark World dungeon is a very valuable resource that, he's giving up here. Not the wrong choice by any means, but it is something to consider.
And as a small thing, once you beat Aga, there are an unbelievable number of red guards who show up in the light world.
Yeah, that's true. It's not necessarily a small thing if you don't have boots and you don't have hookshot and you don't have a boomerang. Like, the light world becomes actually miserable.
Yeah, red guards are known for not respecting personal space. So this is our first look at Dark Cross.
Yeah. Going to Dark Cross first is... I would probably choose to go to Zelda Cell first, assuming you're going to do both. That Zelda Cell Death Warp is easier. And
yeah,
you can hope for a mirror.
These rats don't do much damage, which is why Freddie keeps touching the ropes, trying to get his health down.
Yeah. This Death Warp is fine.
Or you get the mirror in Dark Cross.
Yeah. Okay. So that's, everything I said is wrong.
At least we don't have to worry about death warping out of Zelda Cell now.
Yeah, and Maniacal's going to do it the way I was suggesting, and this is why Freddie beat me 2-0.
Yeah, so as they do this, let's talk about where things are in your group currently. Freddie, if he wins this, can clinch no worse than a 3-way tie with you and Schultzer that would have to be resolved with a tiebreaker race. Whereas if he loses, you outright clinch one of the spots for advancing out of the division.
Yeah, so if Maniacal has 1 game versus Freddie, this game versus Freddie, and 1 game versus Schultzer left. If he wins either of those, that'll be enough to ensure I get first or second. Assuming he loses both, then if Schultzer wins both, or if Freddie wins either of his games versus Schultzer, that'll ensure Freddie gets first and I get second.
Right, and if Maniacal wins this, thereby clinching you for one of the spots, Freddie and Schultzer's second game will straight up be for the other spot.
Right, yeah. And then, assuming, that Schultzer wins all of his games and Freddie wins this game, then we have a nice 3-way tie.
Yeah. I'm thinking you probably are hoping that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, ideally. But, we'll see what a 3-way tie would be. Quite fun. It just would also be a little stressful against both those guys. Like,
Well, at least it's a race where the goal isn't to win. The goal is just to not finish last.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a 3-person race. It's not that much different.
Nice B strats by Freddeh.
Yeah. And so they both made the same play. Freddeh just...
I didn't know the B follows you into the next room here, even.
The B will follow you into any room as long as it's in the same super tile.
Okay, so now the other thing, since we were talking about the implications of doing Aga early, now that we have the mirror, save and quit in the Dark World will put you on the pyramid once you beat Aga, and that's something runners often forget.
Right. I mean, so that's definitely just annoying. But there is the like more material implication of you can't save a portal in TR because of this.
Yeah.
So Maniacal is still choosing the Death Warp because he wants to not be on 1 heart going into Aga.
Especially doing this climb with a fighter sword.
Yeah. Because, you know, sometimes you just get poked off the edge like Freddeh just did, and then you're just...
But
then you're
heads up, I had no idea there was a heart there. You know, I don't see runners going around that side very often.
Yeah. This climb kind of sucks.
With fighter sword and no boots, yeah, I'd say so.
No boots, no bow, no boomerang, no hook
No fire rod.
It just sucks. So these spins are not good, I think. I think that the spins do the same damage as a slash.
Yeah. I never remember, like, under what cases do fighter sword spins do the same damage as fighter sword slashes, and when do they do extra damage? Seems like sometimes...
The answer is arbitrary, I do believe.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's the same. I think that fighter sword spins do the same damage as a master sword slash, which sometimes does fighter sword damage and sometimes it does not.
Right. On Moldorm, notably, it's the same damage, and on Landmos too, I think.
Yes. Not on. Maybe not on Landmo. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It is. The game is stupid. The rules are arbitrary.
Maniacal making good use of that burner that Freddeh almost didn't want to pick up.
Yeah.
Oh, Freddeh swung too early and got electrocuted. That's surprising.
Too early or too close? I wasn't actually paying attention.
Look, I mean, probably both, but in particular too early. So, depending how many blue balls there are, that could set him up for a few extra cycles here. Because that's his 3rd hit, but it could easily be Maniacal's 4th.
Yeah. So, where are these guys going when they get into the Dark World?
I mean, their only options are Pod, Eastern, and Catfish, after checking Pyramid Ledge.
Yeah. But which do you choose? So you go to Catfish, you could just... It's a long walk, but you gotta go there. You go to Pod. You only have 1 key in Logic.
Yeah.
If it's me, I'm going to Catfish, and I'm gonna mirror and buy a potion along the way. That way you're ready for Pod to get the right side.
That makes sense, and then you can just save and quit back to Pyramid so you don't have to walk all the way back from Catfish.
Yeah. The other thing is that after you go... Okay, there's...
Okay. Maybe we do want to do Eastern.
No, I'm still doing the same thing, because like you want to delay going into Eastern as long as possible.
Oh,
after Pod, you're definitely mirroring doing Eastern.
Okay, so well, I was Right. I agree that catfish first makes sense. I was just thinking maybe you bribe Kiki and then you immediately mirror and do Eastern before going into pod, but you still go into pod first.
Yeah, because Eastern pod is mostly a forked dungeon. Like, you're not losing that much time by doing pod first, whereas Eastern is a linear dungeon. Like, anytime you spend walking to the back of Eastern without that bow, and then you get a bow and pod, and you're just sad. Whereas like pod, like if you go into Eastern and you find an extra small key, you can just go back into pod and go get what you missed.
Yeah, and as you would say, even if you get your third pod small, resist the urge to do like Harmless Hellway.
Yeah, I probably don't go back in on a third pod small.
That's, I think, our fourth 300. Maybe just our third.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It's been a wealthy seed, which is good, because having the money, like, as annoying as this seed has been for the runners, like, whereas, stuff hasn't been really available, it would have been a much more annoying seed if they didn't have money. It's like you had Zora just like eating away at you, and then you can't get the lamp, and then you have to come back to that.
Then you can't bribe Kiki.
Yeah, it would be, and you can't buy this potion, which both of them ended up doing the same thing, going up to Catfish here. So I mean,
Freddie using up a bit of magic so he can use the potion for the potion glitch on the right side of pod.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that either of them can do that whenever. I think you just pull out the cape and do it at any point. It doesn't really need to be done out here.
Yeah, I just noticed it's interesting that he's preparing for it already.
Yeah, Freddie had a little bit of a better Light World route, and therefore is, a pod walk ahead. But they're basically doing the same things. We'll see once Divergence happens.
Figured since he's ahead, we'll put on his Final Fantasy mix music. Oh, there's the bow for desert. Book, rather.
Yeah. So that's fun.
For some definition of fun. Taking a very long walk and reading a monolith.
Yeah, and so, like I was saying, they're coming in here on 2 keys. Their second key isn't even in logic. Freddie's just going straight to the back, which is a little risky, I feel like. But
I mean, when you have the mirror, it gives you a bit more flexibility. Or do you just mean if there's another small key in the front and we could be doing Harmless Hellway while we're back here?
Right, a small key or the big key.
There's always a pod key in pod, right?
Yeah, but that's the risk I'm referring to, not like inefficient routing. Like, this is, if you had a spoiler log, this would be the better route, assuming there's nothing that detracts you.
So that Hera Small that we got in Compass Chest does put Hera Basement in logic now that we have the mirror.
It does, but it does not, because that is locked by at least 3 keys.
Oh, right.
Depending on where Hammer
right.
and Bow is. And we only have 1 key in logic. Our second key came from Waterfall, which is obviously flipper locked. And so yeah, Freddie is getting these checks done. Maniacal will do the same. They don't need to come back here until they have all 6 keys, or at least 5 keys, because then there could be 1 key locked key. Which, means that they're not getting pulled back here anytime soon, as long as they resist the urge.
So far, pod's been junk.
Yeah, so, I mean, now you have a decision to make. You probably go into Eastern on these and get those 5 checks that are available. Your alternative option is that... Okay, what is Maniacal doing?
I guess he wants to Mimic Clip anyway.
Yeah, this is going to cost him some time.
Yeah, I'm not
I think
sure.
he's very good at Mimic Clipping, but it's still slower than the potion.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see the universe in which even a really good Mimic Clip is faster. Though that was a really good Mimic Clip.
He is very good at Mimic Clipping, but it's still not going to be faster than this. Yeah, so the only logic that, or the only progression we've gotten that's actually real is Desert, the book going into Desert. We also do have the lamp, or the mirror, to get us up to Hera. But
I think at this point, since you're here, you kind of have to do Eastern before you try any of that, though.
yeah, I agree. But it does feel bad. It's a little scary, because, like, you could just not. And that this is, like, going to be 2 minutes. If you find nothing in here, you're going to feel potentially behind, even if your opponent probably is doing the same thing.
I mean, you know that your opponent is pretty limited because this seed has been so linear.
No, for sure. This is... There's been not a lot of progression, not a lot of options to choose from.
And this is also our densest item location at the moment. There are 5 items in Logic here compared to... I mean, I guess if we go to Desert, there is Desert Ledge and Gina, and then 3 items we can get in Desert, so that's also 5.
Yeah. I mean, Desert has way more going for it. Like, the book pulling Desert into Logic is just much more suspicious than Sphere Zero, Eastern, and the Big Key. The Desert Small Key being available, way more suspicious than the Eastern Big Key, which, gives us 1 check. So it's like, there's just... It's probably Desert, but do you want to risk it and like, not be here? Because your opponent's probably in here, and if they get an item out of here, like, you're just infinitely behind, it feels like.
And sure enough, Maniacal doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And hey, Eastern wasn't a half-bad play. In fact, this wasn't an Agaseed.
Yes, it was. Eastern Big was on...
Oh, right, it was on the ledge.
Yeah, on the pyramid.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, that does give us regular Dark World access besides Aga Portal.
Yeah. So I think that this is going to be our first opportunity for real divergence.
Right,
Like,
now with this loadout, do you do the mountain?
So, I mean, you have the mountain as an option. You have Hype Cave into Desert, Hype Cave into Bombos Tablet into Desert, or Hype Cave into Stumpy into Dig Game, and then you mirror, and then you can go do Village of Outcasts into Skull Woods. You have the big key for Skull Woods. Like, I think there's a lot of reasonable choices right now.
So Freddie's doing the South Dark World route. As you were saying, that's one of the reasonable choices.
Yeah, he's starting with Hype Cave, which I think is very reasonable. But then the question is he going to go over towards Village of Outcasts? Like, you go to Dig Game, Mirror, and then go into CAC and up into Village of Outcasts, or is he going to go south towards Desert?
I kind of like the Desert play because you can also check Bombos en route. You can't pull it, but you can check it.
Yeah, which is better unless it's an actual item that you need to come back for. Right. You don't have to actually go through a Bombos animation to get your arrows or whatever.
But Freddie's he might also just be checking bomb. No, he doesn't care about his 5/6 crystals.
Yeah, I think that that's reasonable, though I do think it's faster to just go down and around as opposed to up and around.
I'm still a little surprised he doesn't want to know what the 5-6 are.
It's fad keys. You're doing them all anyway. Like I think that the number of map checks you'll end up doing to find out what your 5-6 are is less than the time you'd spend walking in and talking to the guy. So Maniacal is still doing the same. Yeah, that boomerang is worth picking up. Like,
yeah, we don't have any stun weapon yet. So is Maniacal gonna do the same as Freddeh? I kind of want to see divergence now that we actually can diverge.
yeah, I mean, Freddeh could also cut his route short here and then just go straight up the mountain. Like,
one dig.
okay, so Freddeh is not cutting his route short after his one arduous dig.
So he'll be taking the long walk over to Bombo's tablet and then desert.
We need to mirror, yeah.
Maniacal is talking to the bomb vendor.
Yeah, so we'll get some info here. Bottom swamp, cool.
Oh right, Freddeh never checked Sick Kid, but as we know, it's junk.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's just doing CAC portals. So you do the front of Skullwood since you have the big key and can therefore do the whole thing?
Yeah, you definitely do Skullwoods here. If you want to be really aggressive, you could skip big key chests, but you definitely do the front 5. But I guess he doesn't have any keys to Skullwoods, so you can't really do that. Oh, and we're going to check pad the long way. We decided last moment that we wanted to check pad, which seems, I don't know. You have the mirror. I think you
and
do
as
this.
Yeah,
the Skullwoods anyway. Like,
right, rather than route all the way through Lost Woods and back. Okay, a Meyer small. Yeah.
That's great news. I'm never doing left side Meyer. Because that means either you need to do left side Meyer or you need to do GT basement. Like, those are two separate things at this point.
Well, Meyer's a pendant, right? So,
I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a pendant.
well, I mean, the only way, left side Meyer could be in logic without ped is if big key were over. Well, I guess it still can be even as a pendant. I'm overthinking this.
Yeah, I mean, if the big key is in one of those two checks, then you can have annoying things happen. But it won't happen. Like, that's so unlikely.
We got a bug net and chest game, which is kind of useful with that bottle.
Definitely kind of useful.
There's Hera Big, which that is fully in logic, so all of Hera except the basement is now fully in logic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm happy we're getting some divergence here. I don't think, if I was Maniacal, I would have done Agina last, but otherwise, I think this is a decent play. I think it's good that they're both staying off the mountain. I think that rushing the 8 checks on the mountain is pretty short-sighted, so to speak. Like,
You'd hope you get Titan's mitts first.
Mitts or The Hera Big Key is nice. Like, there's a lot of things that make it a little bit nicer. Hookshot and mitts.
Also, there was a Skullwood Small in the front of Thieves, so now doing the front of Skullwoods is going to be a lot easier to route.
Yep, that's this is working out well. But there's also a flute on Desert Right, so
How about that?
now Maniacal, has a pretty good route of he can save quit here, and
Plod Small number 3.
Oh, he needs to do map chest. Yeah, Maniacal can go save quit out of this and go to activate his flute and go into the Dark World and do all these checks that Freddie's doing.
So you think Freddie's going to do North Dark World? Oh, there's our Master Sword sitting right there in the map chest of Desert. Yeah, you think Freddie's just going to do the full North Dark World? I mean, he can't do King's Tomb, but...
Yeah, I think that this is pretty... There's nothing else you would be doing here, and like you don't want to orphan Graveyard Ledge at this point when you're all the way up here. So the interesting thing is that you cannot... That book is required. You cannot avoid going into Desert on foot with the book. Like, you can't mirror into Desert, so...
Yeah, if the flute is behind the book, it does kind of limit things.
So yeah, we'll see when Freddie makes the decision to go there. That is... Like, he's sort of been completely in the driver's seat by a little bit this entire time.
Ooh, Titan's Mitts. So that Skullwood's Big Key that we got early on was pretty important.
Yeah.
That could lead him to the mountain, though.
Yeah, I think that... I don't think that that'll be, like, particularly bad. He might be able to even get the Desert Big before he shows up to Desert. So, we'll see how this plays out. Like, getting the flute earlier for Maniacal is not necessarily a good thing, but it could be.
Yeah, now we do have this annoying sword placement, that there's a sword in Desert, and there's a sword locked behind Boots on Library. We don't know where the fourth sword is, but...
Maniacal is going here without the mitts, without the Hera Big.
And without Hookshot to Herapod either.
Yeah. Which, not the biggest deal if we know he's going to come back up here with mitts later. So, like, doesn't really matter that much that he can't finish Hera here. But everything else about this kind of sucks.
Ooh, simultaneous map grabs.
Not a big fan of Maniacal coming up here. Like, you, at the very least, go flute over to the Mire area and do that stuff first. Like, what's the rush to come up here?
Wait, Maniacal can't flute over to Mire. He doesn't have the mitts.
Oh, true. True. That's a great point. Go get the mitts, Maniacal. That's what you should be doing. Why are you here when the mitts are not here? Yeah, fair enough.
And that's our third medallion. That is, we've seen all three. The runners each have one. Ether is sitting on Lake Hylia Island. But at least we know where they all are.
I guess Freddie probably is going up the mountain here. It's hard to imagine he's not with mitts, with Hera Big Key. He doesn't have the flute to go to the Mire area. Like, he could go to ice, but I don't see it.
Yep, there we go.
So, meanwhile, Maniacal giving us a nice Hera basement. So there's still a lot of logic behind the 4 pod keys. We have 3 of 4, but... it's 3 or 4 pod keys, and we have 1 out of logic, so... It is nothing.
And Maniacal... Right, can't go upstairs. He doesn't have the big key.
Yeah. So Freddeh probably full clears here.
Freddeh saving time on the not triggering the ether animation at the expense of a heart container.
Yep.
Oh, thank you, ALTTP Randomizer, for the raid. I gather there was a JJO versus ACMLM doubleheader that just concluded. I just realized I was probably supposed to have synced the streams about 45 minutes ago.
Maybe. They're close enough. Well, they will be until we have a, 0-second tie-in. It
Yeah.
just doesn't look like it.
Well, now they're synced. So there.
Excellent.
Ooh, wow, that could be big. Flippers upstairs in Hera. Maniacal will need the big key to get those. Or I guess the hookshot in Herapot, but we know where the big key is, we don't know where the hookshot is.
Yeah, I was gonna say the more concerning thing is if hookshot shows up right now, and then Maniacal is able to Herapod and orphans that big chest, but that doesn't seem like it'll actually matter.
We just got a pod big, a pod small, and a mushroom there in Paradox Cave. Mushroom now much easier to turn in with the flute.
Where is Maniacal going?
Spiral Cave?
He did spiral.
Oh, he did? Spike Cave?
Does not seem like a efficient way to get to Spike Cave. I mean, like, it's fine, but it's not much faster than just doing it from a save and quit at any point in time.
True. And Moldorm drops a red pendant for all that.
He is going into Spike Cave, which seems a little bit suspicious with the Burna and the cape, but not that it's just one check, so it's not like it must be something valuable.
The Uncle Bombs.
Those are rando room bombs, is that right?
No, they were created for the randomizer,
Okay.
just as a way for Uncle to give bombs in a standard start.
I see.
And Maniacal immediately turning in that mushroom.
Looks like he's also gonna drink his goo and get more goo. Yeah.
Well, that's 3 bottles accounted for.
Okay, and now Maniacal's gonna go get his Hera big, his mitts. Feel not great.
Question some life decisions. And I have to imagine Freddeh goes to the desert area after this because it seems like his best play. I mean, what are you going to do? Smith chain?
Ice? I mean, you're just missing...
Ice without Samaria or Hookshot.
Yeah. Seems not unreasonable to me.
And Hammer Cold Stare fight.
Yeah. I mean,
you have a different idea of not unreasonable than I do.
walking over the desert also sucks. For what, 3 checks? 4 checks with a Gina? Like, that doesn't sound particularly great either.
I think 5 checks plus being able to examine Bombos don't affect 6. Because-
Yeah, but I mean, I don't particularly want to go into the dark world just to check Bombo's tablet.
Fair. Except it's a long walk anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but sure, but no need to make it longer. You probably don't want to do Bombo's tablet until you're also doing first check of Swamp, which is an option.
Okay, fine. How about Smith Chain into Desert?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to Ice Palace, but you have fun.
Oh, and TR is Quake, but Freddeh decides not to open the portal.
He doesn't have Samaria.
Right. He wouldn't be able to go in just as a matter of opening the portal or not opening the portal.
Yeah, I mean, no reason to open it early. Just knowing what it is all that really matters. Okay, he's turning in his mushroom. That seems very reasonable. Then we'll see what the actual decision is. As of 31.1, the Misery Mire Big Key can in fact be on the left side in this seed, with what we know so far. Obviously, that assumes that the other two keys are available outside GT. Or not outside GT, sorry.
Telethar, look at where Freddie's going.
Yeah. I mean, good for him. I would be an Ice Palace here.
Or what is he? Is he now going to check bomb vendor? I don't know why I keep calling
either. And then go into Ice Palace.
Got it. Yes, we may or may not need that ether. We haven't checked.
Hobo
Wait,
first?
is he going?
Truly.
Okay, yeah, he never did Hobo. Right. I was just like, please don't tell me you're going back to pod already.
Yeah, I mean, you should not go to pod here, obviously. So you could swim over, do ether, pick up ether, and then go into ice. You could walk down to do
really like ice.
I just think it's the choice that they should make right now. I think that walking over the desert seems horrible.
To fill in the late arrivals, neither runner did Eastern before doing Aga, which was just as well because Eastern Big was on Pyramid Ledge and the hammer was an Eastern Big chest.
Yeah, it wasn't Agaseed. Mitts were also in Skullwoods. So, I mean, Ice Palace Big Key locks 2 checks in this dungeon. Everything else is in logic. It's not that terrible to do this as is with the current equipment. Like, you have 1 key. If you're on 0 keys, then, like, 0 key Samaria Ice Palace, or Samarialess Ice Palace sucks. Like, it just is actually complete garbage. 1 key is not terrible.
I mean, it's not great.
sure.
You have to go the long way around and do the bomb jump. But at least we get to hear Gilgamesh music. Which I know it's officially called Battle on the Bridge before anyone in chat gets on my case. Oh yeah, and for the late arrivals, Maniacal has been into Desert, that's where his flute was. And his Master Sword. There is also a sword in Library, but we don't have the boots for it. Freddeh, of course, very experienced with Ice Palace Bomb Jump, given how long he's been playing this game. Well before Icebreaker was discovered.
Yeah, they do have a bomb issue, and I hope that they don't drop 2 bombs in this room.
Oh.
I mean, there are more bombs to pick up. Maybe they're actually thinking about it. There are bombs to pick up in the in the map chest room. So, should be fine, assuming you pick up these pots.
Right, because we have to... Wait, we already took care of the Stalfos Knight.
Assuming we pick up these pots here. Assuming we picked up those pots there.
Ooh, Thieves Big. We don't have the small, so we'd have to orphan the big chest.
I mean, we don't have the big key to ice, so, you know, it's okay, but also we do need to do both ice tea and then get back, and like, this is gonna suck for Freddeh. Maniacal's doing Smith over the mire area.
Yeah, he got Swamp Big, but that doesn't really do us much good.
But it could do us a lot of good.
If there's something in Swamp Big chest.
Yeah.
Once we get into Swamp, for which we don't yet have the small key. And hey, there's the hook shot sitting in Freezor chest.
So, Freddeh just drops in. Is he gonna go take the long way around, though? And yeah, the hook shot is nice. Maniacal might get that before going up the mountain, which could be really big for him.
Is fluting to 6 really faster than fluting to 7 to turn in purple chest?
No.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
And another one of those lagorific red guards because we beat Aga. Now, pod small number 5, that makes things interesting, but we still don't have the bow to actually finish it.
Don't have the bow, and Maniacal doesn't have the flippers to put one of his keys into logic. Okay, what do we... We don't need to go back up this way. Why are we going this way? Freddeh, like, you can just reverse your path at this point. You don't need to go up and over.
And it turns out we didn't need Ether for anything because both of our medallion dungeons are Quake.
Alright. This fight should be fine for Freddeh. He's got somewhat low equipment, but he's got potions, he's got a hammer. What more could you ask for?
Well, and there's our third TR small, which may be all we need if we skip Lava Chest. Mind you, we don't have Samaria or either rod, so we're a long ways from doing TR.
I would suggest drinking a potion.
Did he grab a fairy? No.
It's not in logic anyway.
Ah, capacity upgrades. Good idea.
So that's a pretty big swing. Maniacal will not have that hook shot, but this does... I feel like Freddie did have a pretty decent lead, and this sort of just swings it all back.
And he's back on the mountain, so he's just here for Hookshot Cave.
Yeah.
I can't say I agree with this over Desert, because this is just 4 checks. And at least Desert's more checks.
It's the same number. I guess it's 5 checks, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Like, going up here, like, TR is going to be annoying to get back. Like,
Freddie will go to Desert and wonder why he didn't do it sooner.
yeah. I think that this is a little bit of tilt, like, or just like, you know, hadn't really thought of the plan.
Actually, Telethar, you know it would be really crazy if Freddie does Smith Chain into first chest Swamp and check Bombos and then to Desert.
I mean, I think that that's not completely unreasonable at this point. But definitely going to get punished for avoiding Desert. Well, maybe. It's not like there was anything... Not like the flute has done anything for Maniacal directly.
Also, for that area, Maniacal couldn't get into Mire because he didn't have Boots or Hookshot. Freddie has Hookshot, so once he activates Flute, we could see a Mire dip.
Yeah. I really hope that... We'll see, but I really hope that they avoid the left side until it becomes a little more suspiciously in logic, given they know where that one key is. So, okay, we're going into TR here. And that means you did need to do... I mean, unless you're going to hover it and the boots show up, you did need to do some Aurelius Ice
Or maybe
Palace.
we can finish Pod.
Yeah, I mean, you still probably touch TR here.
I suppose. It just kind of feels bad going in without the Fire Rod.
I mean, the Fire Rod only locks 2 checks. I think what more feels bad is going in on 2 keys and knowing that you're just like, you're definitely leaving behind. You're definitely not finishing this dungeon, almost for sure, and now you're going to have to go back through it, but...
Right, I mean, the 4th key would have to show up, not that Freddie knows that we've already found the 3rd key. And you'd have to get the ice rod, both rods.
Yeah.
But hey, there's bottle percent.
This kind of sucks. Okay, Freddie's not planning on going further? Okay, he is. Okay.
That is a long animation.
Yeah. Do they have ether? They do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm pretty sure he got ether.
Yeah, I believe so.
After, or did he? No, maybe didn't, come to think of it.
Okay, well now...
No, he must have. He must have done it before going to ice.
Yeah. Now your prediction of going swamp over is more likely. But honestly, I think going straight swamp to desert is the most likely, which means that Freddie is going to orphan swamp big chest.
I totally missed that was the swamp small.
That was the swamp small in Chomps.
It must be, our tracker says it so. And by the way, shoutouts to Pixcalibur for doing all the tracking. Always a lot of work in a Key Sanity.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow,
Nice
pretty
boomerang.
swag boomerang strat there.
Yeah, Ether and then hammering the pokey is going to be faster than going through the Bombos animation. And on Maniacal's side, you can just Quake all these guys. Also faster.
Maybe they just really like using bombos.
Yeah, I mean, I know for sure, but I have a couple casual friends and they love the Bombos animation.
Burn, baby, burn. Fear my ring of fire. Isn't that roughly what Ped says when Bombos is on it?
I hate ped hints. Let's check what it says. It says, yeah, burn, baby, burn. Fear my ring of fire. You are correct. It is fear, my ring. No joke, I have multiple times pulled out my local copy of the source code to check what that ped hint is telling me.
I think at one point Oro put together a website for, like, looking up hints. Well,
I missed. What did we pull?
Oh, we pulled a French vanilla compass.
Cool.
After pulling another compass in the big chest.
They did not change it, it looks like. The last time this line was edited was 4 years ago. So.
Yeah, I don't think any changes to the hints have been made. It's been discussed, but...
Those are some nice laser skips, though it's not great getting out lasers.
He does have the cape, of course, if it starts to get tight.
Yeah, just pop it for the last one.
3 pieces of heart and a map.
Nice laser bridge. Very, very nice. Very happy with with what we've pulled out of it.
So where was Swamp Big? In Desert?
Swamp Big is on Smith.
Oh, right. I just remembered it was something Maniacal had done that Freddeh hadn't.
Yeah. So Freddeh here is going to do Swamp, and then he's going to go Desert, and he's going to get his Flute, and then probably go into Mire.
Right, and the only thing about Mire is he won't have the big key.
Yeah, unless it's, in Swamp. But it could totally just be in GT as well. So we'll see. Freddie's kind of on rails for the next 15 minutes. It's hard to see anything really go. I mean, maybe. I guess if enough pod keys shows up, he could do pod Eastern before that, but.
And there's Maniacal's hookshot. Bit of a feels bad for him about doing Dark Death Mountain without it.
Yeah, especially since it was like almost delayed long enough. Whereas Freddeh kind of.
Maniacal also remembering he does not have the big key.
Granted, I guess you're.
Oh,
you're
and
not...
he's skipping Iced Tea, or did he do Iced Tea? He must have done Iced Tea already, actually, given how he bombed up into Freeze.
He did. He had Iced Tea beforehand because he had the bombs to actually do it a not terrible way. I guess
maybe he'll even survive Cold Stare.
You don't have Samarius. You're not going to do ice out of logic, and the flippers are up on Death Mountain, and you can't really get them without having first done first gotten mitts, so like it's pretty unlikely you're going to be able to dodge doing this without having gone up the mountain first.
So Maniacal's big advantage in this Cold Stare fight is that Master Sword spins do the same damage as Hammer, so he has options.
Yeah, I would love a potion. I guess he's still got a hit in the tank.
Yeah, with Blue Mail.
I guess he's fine. He's chilling. Alright, nice. Second sword is in Desert Palace, next to the flute, sort of.
Yeah, flute was right side, sword is map chest. And once again, third sword, been sitting on the library since the beginning of the seed, and we still don't have boots.
So Maniacal doesn't really have anything to do except for to go up the mountain here. Oh, he has the Thieves Town big. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, if you want to orphan Thieves' big chest.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one check. You already have a lot of things. It's probably not gonna burn you.
So I guess the rods and the boots are kind of the big things at this point. Well, okay, one rod down.
And that is a required Turtle Rock without Fire Rod.
Oh, right, we needed that Swamp Small.
Yep. You had to go into Turtle Rock without the Fire Rod to get that, and you have no option to portal save. So it is what it is. It's like, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that as Freddeh, because suddenly this is required and not just like a bad ordering. Then again, Freddeh probably feels bad about everything because he died to Cold Stare and like nothing else matters. Like, I think his route has been pretty clean actually. Most of the bad things he's done have all been like, yeah, you kind of had to do that in the wrong order because the seed sucked. But
for once, I didn't roll it. The runners rolled it. I think Maniacal rolled it, in fact.
Where are we going, Freddeh?
Realizes he does have some Aria. It's going to be a nice, clean diver down.
I don't think he's way ahead, but he's definitely ahead right now. Like, the thing is, going back through ice is just like a full, like 3 minutes. That's pretty bad.
But at least he can Icebreaker this time.
Which saves all of 5 seconds.
I think it saves like 15. Ooh, Powder and Blind Cell.
No, I think it saves like 6 or 7. Like if you're go moding the dungeon, I don't think it's worth mentioning even.
P-Train did side-by-side videos once. I seem to remember it being more like 15, but I can go looking for them at some point.
I'd be interested, yeah. Either way, he has mostly an ice palace to clear. He still needs to walk over to desert and get his flute, then activate his flute.
I guess the only interesting thing would be if Ice Palace Big shows up. And then Freddeh can check that chest on his way to Cold Stare while that's a last location for Maniacal.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they both have sort of GG points right now, right? Like if something shows up in Swamp, then that's just game over for
Ooh, Meyer big for Maniacal, so he could just do Meyer now. No, he still doesn't
Yeah.
have Samaria. He hasn't been
No.
back to Dark Death Mountain Hookshot Cave to get Samaria.
But I guess he does have the option of going to Meyer, which is unfortunate. Very likely he takes that option before going up for Hookshot Cave only.
Is Freddeh doing all of Smith Chain now?
I am not understanding why you just refuse. Like this over. I mean, I think the really weird part about this decision is that, like, you could have just checked Bombo's tablet and then fluted for the rest of Smith's Chain.
Well, Freddeh can't flute.
Oh, right, you don't have flute. Never mind. This is just so slow.
Yes.
This is two checks, 3 checks or something, and it takes, like, you have to walk across the entire world.
And it looks like Maniacal is gonna dive Meyer without Samaria. So I guess the big question is, once Freddeh finally gets his flute out of Desert, he'll be in CAC to activate it. At that point, do you do Thieves or do you do Meyer without the big key?
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it was the Swamp Big was on there, not Smith, but same difference.
Freddeh
just feels bad. Yeah.
Freddeh is not going back to check Swamp Big Chest.
Is he not?
You mean with what he's been doing so far? Okay, maybe he is.
I mean, we're right there.
For some definition of right there, which means, it's less than a 5-minute walk.
Over there, I think. well, no, never mind. We're going to Thieves Town. Okay.
Okay. That'll work out well once he finally gets the flute, if he ever finally gets the flute.
So, I mean, for what it's worth, what do we actually need for Go Mode? We need an Ice Rod and... Yeah, we need an Ice Rod and a Desert Big.
Sounds right. Oh, and with Blind dropping a pendant, we actually know all our pendants, and yeah, our tracker has been nice to fill in all the crystals.
So, and here's a scary thought. Maniacal needs to go into TR when he goes up the mountain to get that Swamp Small, to get that Fire Rod. But he's also going to be getting a bow. And he has 5 smalls for Pod, and Pod Big, and Eastern Big. Is he going to say, screw going into Fire Rodless, Ice Rodless, Turtle Rock? I'm going to Pod the Eastern, and then just leave, and then not get that Swamp Small? So then he's going to last locate going back to TR.
By the way, since GT will be our final,
our last dungeon.
Our final dungeon, if you find boots in GT, and you're still on Master Sword Silverless, do you pick up that Tempered before the Ganon fight?
Yes, but only because I have Agaded.
Because you can then save and quit to Pyramid.
Yeah. And if I'm on Silvers, then no.
Yeah, because the big time savings is Phase 4 Silverless.
Yeah. But in a seed in a non, AD seed where Aga is still alive, then absolutely not.
Oh, and chat is also reminding us there is a 1 in 22 chance that the GT Big Key is on the torch.
Yeah. And also worth pointing out, Maniacal is currently clearing out left side of Meyer. Or just finished clearing it out.
Which he knows it is logically behind Ped.
Granted, it is only at this point logically behind a Thieves Town small key for him. So
And
and two more
Samaria.
and Samaria. Yeah, it's behind another Meyer small key, Samaria, and Thieves Town small. So I don't know. I don't like it, but a lot of people just play AD by just doing everything, and it's certainly faster to do it now than later.
And of course, the Ice Rod can be anywhere because that's the joy of the Ice Rod.
It can be anywhere that's not locked by GT.
Right.
That Thieves Town small
Or on Trinex. Hey, there's our 6th pod small.
Yeah. That Thieves Town small key could easily just be in GT. No reason not to. So, in fact, that's the most likely place for it.
Okay, what are you doing, Freddie? Is this where he finishes Skull Woods because he's kind of sort of in the area?
I think this is totally reasonable. I don't think there's a reason to delay Skull Woods. Like, Hammer Moth is not that bad.
Yeah, and who knows when we'll ever get boots.
Yeah. Or flippers. I mean, not flippers, or flute, right? He doesn't know. Flute could be in GT for all he knows.
Ooh, Desert Big in Shovel Spot, and the shovel was in Meyer Lobby Chest.
Alright, well, now we are Ice Rod from Go mode. Or no mode, I should say. Freddeh has staunchly refused to go to Desert, and needs to.
He's still on Fighter Sword at an hour 20.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Maniacal has to go up to the mountain and then choose to stay in Turtle Rock as opposed to going to full clearable Eastern End pod. Or I don't know. This is a.
I mean, I like Freddie's position better if he just frickin' goes to Desert at some point.
Yeah. I mean.
And don't step on the stars.
Maniacal has a 4th Turtle Rock key. If the Ice Rod's there, that's pretty disastrous for Freddeh. Maniacal has that Swamp Big to check, which Freddeh won't, but Freddeh will get the Ice Big before going. Like, if I'm Freddeh, I'm not going back to Ice Palace until I am in Go mode, or like Turtle Rock is my last crystal and I'm going up to Turtle Rock. Like,
nice Hammer Moth fight.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth.
Oh, there's our Thieves Small, so...
Not in logic without another Skullwood small key, so just keep on pushing our logic back a little bit. But yeah, now they've both orphaned that big key or big chest in Thieves, so that's nice.
Oh, right. Maniacal doesn't really have a good weapon for Landmos, whereas Freddeh has the Fire Rod. And the bow.
Yeah, I mean, Samaria, or Berna is actually a pretty good weapon. It's certainly not Fire Rod, but unless you're unless you're really good with the bow, Berna's better.
Okay, so Freddie's gonna do Pod and Eastern, and he really doesn't have that many Pod Smalls.
Nope.
So those are two more outs for Maniacal, Pod, Big Key Chest, and Harmless Hellway.
Yeah, since we know where all of them are, we know that none of them are here. I guess he's just doing Helma and leaving. Like, he doesn't have keys to do anything else. Maniacal's gonna have his imported choice coming up here. If he leaves and bails, what does he have? I mean, he has the first chest of Swamp. But I don't know really what else you'll have after Pod Eastern, except for to go into TR.
Well, he'll have Samaria, so he can finish off Meyer, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree, Elzen. So, interestingly enough, in my race versus Maniacal in Fad Keys, we had an Ice Rod in the back of Turtle Rock, and he bailed on the Thieves Town Big Key, which I believe got him into GT mode.
Oh, there's the sewers key, so now the junk we got out of Zelda's cell is in logic.
He doesn't have a bow, but
He's about to get one.
I'm saying to Allison coming up here with before. I guess you still can go into pod for 2 checks that are very in logic. It's hard to say.
Okay,
I mean, this is
moment of
the
truth.
right choice, but
Okay, he's not saving quitting, so he's probably going into TR.
well, he shouldn't save quit regardless because he has killed Aga and he's going to bail.
Or what? Or suddenly changed his mind and is doing TR?
All right, well, we've been baited. All right, so this is really good for Maniacal. He's gonna get his Swamp Small and then be ejected from the dungeon, basically. Like, he'll probably stay and clear everything because he got burned by leaving last time. But unless Ice Rod shows up in the big key chest, the rest of this place is junk. So
where is that Ice Rod?
So Maniacal is, where the Ice Rod is a great question. But what is the actual situation? Maniacal is down a Skull Woods, down a Swamp full clear, and you need to do left side. He's now going to be down a pod.
He's up a desert and a cold stare.
He's up a desert, he's up a cold stare. It does feel like Freddeh is still kind of in the driver's seat here. Obviously, if Ice Rod shows up in this big key chest, that completely changes things. If Ice Rod shows up in any of the dead spots for either side, that's going to be, massive. But
oh, Maniacal actually is taking that Swamp Small and leaving.
I don't understand. At the very least, you should have. At the very least, I feel like you should have gone to big key chest before you mirror out. Like, getting out of big key chest takes forever anyway, and you have the 4 keys. Like,
and also, at that point, do you want to do Mimic Cave?
I mean, I think if you do Mimic Cave, you stay till the end. I think I stay to the end regardless, but if you do Mimic Cave, you stay to the end. But if you're going to leave, you should leave after doing Big Key Chest.
Remind me, where was that 4th TR Small?
I have no idea.
Somewhere that Maniacal's
Chat.
done that Freddeh hasn't. Oh,
Chat will remind us.
Freddeh didn't get the despawn on any of the Stalfos there.
Little PSA, it's faster to go to the right side in Meyer than the left. If you're go moding. Yeah, he's just trying to level up before the Armos Night, so yeah.
I don't think we're gonna see Spooky.
No, I feel like that requires items which we don't have.
Indeed. Now, Maniacal will do Pod and Eastern with the bow, and he can turn in the green pendant as part of that.
Yeah. That is another potential out for Maniacal. I don't think Maniacal is as far behind as... Like, I don't think it's 10 minutes. Maniacal has a lot of outs, but also Maniacal... Like, Freddeh needs to go into Mire to get the shovel, and then go dig that up to get the Desert Pig. He has to go through Ice Palace again.
Did either of the runners do Magic Bat?
I don't know. I don't think so, but...
But Freddeh still has Purple Chest, so
Yes.
he'll probably combo those. Thanks, Stark. This has got to be him going to do Magic Bat and Purple Chest, and then maybe Desert? Maybe?
I'm really surprised at how much he's insisted on not going to Desert. It might be a if it's there, I'm screwed type of play, which isn't the case, but you've seen it before. I think Maniacal does Pod Eastern, Green Pendant, and then, not necessarily in that order, but those three, and then goes to Swamp, trying to simplify his left side Swamp choice. Yeah, I agree. I think that, like... I think right after Swamp, Bombo's Tablet into Desert is really obvious. Like, that feels like the default choice, and doing anything else feels odd.
In any case, while we're slowly walking around the map, why don't you give these runners a follow?
True. They both have at least one more main tournament match in their future. Plus, probably more tournament matches. Okay, and there's our go mode. Our no mode.
Yeah, which honestly, that's not bad for Freddeh, because he's gonna do Mire all at once, and then he'll have the green pendant, and he'll have the flute at that point, so it's a pretty easy flute to 5 to turn it in, and like, what even are his other options besides some crazy one-offs?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be your first one-off, for
Yeah.
sure. Well, I mean, your other one-off, your other maybe. You probably do that before anything else, but you could argue going to Turtle Rock is not a one-off, right? That's going to be 3 checks for Freddeh.
Firelocked and Lava Chest if he has the 4th Turtle Rock small.
Which I'm pretty sure he will by the time he gets around to it. Like,
But when you have this many one-offs in the lower world, do you really want to climb the mountain again and risk it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So he's gonna do Bombo's Tablet and finally go to Desert here.
No? What the? Freddeh, what are you doing?
I'm gonna do Swamp Big Chest here and...
Gotta make the race interesting, right?
I'm just asking a quick question here.
Watch Silvers be in here or something ridiculous.
I'm just gonna do this. Okay, I'm pulling up Freddie's stream real quick just to check. Yeah, he does have the book on his tracker, so you know, he did just use it and all, but like, I needed to check. Yeah, I mean,
meanwhile,
granted, he also has not gone to do Agina, right? Yeah. Which makes sense aside from the fact that he hasn't gone to Desert.
Meanwhile, Maniacal just is kind of on the path, he just has to slog through it.
Yeah, I mean, the only questionable thing for Maniacal is does he do left side swamp? Like,
True.
if you do left side swamp, he's in go mode.
Okay, Freddie, why did you just do that? For a red cent?
All right, and we're off to Desert Palace. Like I said, we've been off to Desert Palace.
So this is Maniacal's 6th dungeon, not counting Aga 1. And then he'll mirror and get number 7. Freddie...
Did we already check that and we checked it again? Am I crazy? All right.
I'm not sure.
I think that the idea behind what Freddy's been doing is that the flute's never showing up because it's in GT, and I want the big key before going into desert. I don't agree with the play, but I think that that's the motivation behind the choices.
Well, guess what, Freddie? You're going into desert now because you're kind of out of stuff. Or watch him prove me wrong and he'll do Thieves Town Big Chest. Just watch.
Yeah, I don't agree with the decision. I think it is committing way too hard to desert bad when it's not. Like, as evidenced by the fact that he's maybe still in the lead, even though he would have been so much more comfy if he had just came here earlier.
Yeah, that Swamp Big Chest play was highly questionable. Oh, look, it's the flute.
Michael's done this stuff, right? He just didn't want to bomb jump? I
guess not. I don't know why he didn't want to, but he didn't want to.
It's a bit surprising, but, you know, it's fine.
Yeah, at his level.
Nice key to the sewers for Maniacal. So, let's see. Maniacal cleans up Eastern. Freddie has already been into TR, but that does not help him at all. Freddie needs to activate the flute, semi-full clear Mire, go dig up his shovel, or go dig up his Desert Big with the shovel, beat Desert, then beat Ice, and he'll be in go mode, and then turn in Green Pendant, and then he'll be in go mode.
And Maniacal just needs to do left side swamp.
Yeah, Maniacal needs to finish up Eastern and go into Swamp and do that, and then he needs to go do Skull Woods. I think Maniacal's probably in the lead here, but it is still a little bit hard to tell. And I think that the big difference is going to be the fact that Freddie has to go back to Ice. I think he would have had enough of a buffer, but between probably last locating that flute and needing to go back through Ice Palace, kind of.
I mean, he didn't last locate it. He could have gone to Thieves Town Big Chest.
You're right, my bad.
And given how he was playing, I'm kind of surprised he didn't.
It was definitely an option. And we love having options.
Yeah, so Maniacal pretty much has to do Swamp after this, right?
Yeah, no, he'll definitely do Swamp after this. The question is, so Maniacal's probably okay. He probably will do left side Swamp, but the slightly spicy thing is that Maniacal does have like 6 checks in TR that are available.
Hey, there's our last Skullwood small.
That's good. We needed that so that we could go to Thieves Town Big Chest before going and turning in Green Pendant. So, yeah, I agree with what Maniacal did doing Swamp last. I do hope that he probably... There's a very real chance that Maniacal will go to the back first. That seems very reasonable to me. He's an Ice Rod or Fire Rod from Go mode.
What's crazy is that, again, given the time margins, if Maniacal wins this, it's Freddie's Cold Stare Death plus Maniacal inexplicably leaving TR after the small key. The Swamp Small.
Yeah, I mean, he made a very similar play versus me and got burned for it. But this time it seems to be the correct call.
I guess sometimes doubling down works.
I mean, yeah, it's not an unreasonable decision, I guess. It just...
Oh, Freddeh rushing the boss.
Yeah.
I guess makes sense when you're one from Go mode.
Yeah, for sure. Freddeh doesn't know that he needs Shovel to get... he's 2 from Go mode in his eyes. He needs the Desert Big.
Oh, right.
But yeah, no, I think that rushing the boss is very reasonable. Yeah, like I was saying, I don't think it's inexplicable. I think it makes sense. I just don't agree. Okay, we're doing some spooky attempts. Maybe got it. I don't agree with it. I think it's scary to do. I think it is a lot of risk that isn't worth taking. I think that there's better places to take risk. But I don't think it's inexplicable. It's very...
Okay, fair.
Very easy to explain what he figured. He figured that Ice Rod and Fire Rod are not back there, and therefore, goodbye.
Freddeh did keep Spooky impressive. I don't actually know the mechanics for, keeping Spooky when you, whatchamacallit?
Don't have boots.
Yeah, when you don't have boots.
Yeah, so I mean, he did it by having a Fire Rod on screen. And the Fire Rod Ancilla takes up the slots the same way your Dust does. You can if you just shoot a Fire Rod shot to the right, then you're good to go. Maniacal is indeed skipping left side for now, which makes perfect sense.
And Freddeh has the luxury of a bow on Vitreous.
Yeah, though Maniacal had a pretty good fight.
Oh, chat remarking that Maniacal skipped Compass Chest in Swamp as well as left side.
Yeah, I think that this is fine. I think that skipping those and just rushing the back, these back chests are actually just free. And if any of them had Fire Rod, that's just, Compass Chest is like 20 seconds, and each of the checks on left side average out to like a minute, so they all suck.
And the thing about Freddie's death to Cold Stare is that he had a potion.
Yeah. He had a potion. He was getting pelted by the ice quite a bit, but like he had the time to just say, okay, this is danger, and then I'm gonna pop this potion. And he wasn't like close to finishing the fight either. And now we're on. I guess actually,
Freddeh, what are you? Oh my god.
This is fine. This
I guess right.
Almost in logic, right?
Right. He has Ped in logic now, so from his perspective, he has all 3 Meyer Smalls available.
2.
Oh, we still never found the 3rd?
Yeah. They found the one in this dungeon, and then there's the one on Ped that is available. The last one is probably still in GT. Yeah,
I guess part of Maniacal's play is just, he's already mathematically eliminated. He kind of has nothing to lose here, so might as well play aggressively.
I mean, maybe, but I don't really get that vibe. I think he's playing pretty on brand. Like his decisions don't feel like they're different from any of the decisions he's been making previously. I think that they're just like he made that same bail against me when he was very much not already eliminated. I think it's just he doesn't like the idea of clearing Turtle Rock and then not being able to save his portal and then suffering.
So given Shovel, probably Freddeh flutes to 4 and checks Shovel as his next move, which will send him back to Desert.
Yeah. I mean, Freddeh could be in go mode in a few minutes, but even if he's in go mode, I think he's still a little behind Maniacal. But not behind enough that GT routing couldn't do it.
Right.
Another interesting thing to consider is that Maniacal does save an extra 30 or so seconds in TR compared to Freddeh because of the 4th key, which unless the tracker is not updated, which it might not be. I haven't been paying attention. But having that 4th key means you get to skip the big key pokey.
Freddeh already did the pokey there.
Yeah, you're right. Freddeh already has done it. Never mind. And now that's the 4th key. Okay, never mind. Everything I said is a lie. Yeah.
This is going to be Shovel.
We'll do TR, or we'll do Desert, and then
probably
we'll see how long.
Pendant.
We'll see how long till we turn in Green Pendant. There are a decent number of options. 3 locations in TR available to him.
I mean, maybe he does Cold Stare at that point, hoping for Ice Rod on Cold Stare.
I think that's a very reasonable choice. Going to Desert, then going to Cold Stare is very reasonable. Yeah, Landmine, I think that's probably my favorite choice, objectively speaking. Now, obviously, knowing the answer, it's not, but from Freddie's eyes, I think that's probably got to be the best choice.
And in an hour 46, Maniacal is in go mode. Oh yeah, Freddeh has Desert Big Chest as well.
Though, doing this before doing Landmo is odd. Skip big or not, you definitely should do it after Landmo.
Yeah, so Maniacal is going to pretty much be up by a Cold Stare. And Freddeh will still need to turn in the Green Pendant.
Yeah, so ignoring any, tilt routing that Freddeh might have had, assuming that he had successfully killed Cold Stare, this would have been very close, but Maniacal would have been. But Freddeh doesn't have the Ice Rod yet.
Yeah, now if Freddeh had successfully killed Cold Stare and not gone into Swamp for the big chest.
For sure. And it very well could be that Freddeh decided, I'm so far behind because of that cold death, I need something stupid. And that could be his explanation for going for that, for staying out of Desert. But this is another good piece of evidence for trying not to let that affect your routing too much, because it's a great way to lose a race you didn't need to lose.
I mean, it benefits you.
Great.
fight there, even though the spikes were misbehaving pretty nicely. Now, what is Freddeh doing?
You're going to do Pyramid Fairy.
Oh, makes sense, but unfortunate. Yeah, this is now decidedly Maniacal's race to lose.
Oh yeah, no, I mean even if Freddeh had made the right choice there, it was already
Right, still
like-
has to do Cold Stare.
yeah, it would have been a Cold Stare difference, which is like a full GT bait. Like it's enough time to basically cancel out a tile room play. So it would have been a not reasonable chance of coming back.
I mean, maybe another sword or silvers are in here.
Yeah, or the boots. Then Freddeh really just kind of honestly has won anyway.
A moral victory.
Well, I mean, he's going to get to have fun for the next 10 minutes, whereas Maniacal won't, so.
The boots are probably in GT.
Of course they're in GT.
Well, Cold Stare's in Logic now.
Okay, actually, why did we do this before Cold Stare? I guess we're still under the I need a miracle mindset.
Well, now we'll check Ice Big Chest on the way to Cold Stare.
Yeah. I mean, what if the boots are there?
Right. I mean, could be anywhere, right?
Can the key on the pedestal still be... No, that key is actually on the pedestal. It can't be in GT because it's not in GT.
Oh, yes, and chat reminding us there is that 1 in 22 chance of the big key being on the torch in Ganon's Tower. And, well, if boots are in Ice Palace Big Chest and GT Big Key is on the torch, that swings things considerably.
Yeah, I mean... What are we doing?
Yeah, Freddeh, you don't need to hit the switch.
I'm more concerned about what Maniacal's doing.
What was Maniacal doing?
I mean, why are we out
Oh,
here?
why is he going around this way? That is a good question when you have all the keys. Looking for boots or silvers or...
I guess. This is...
But he didn't do Mimic Cave, so he's not that desperate for whatever he's looking for.
This is not... Like, that's such a slow check. You have all of GT in your future.
I don't know, is he gonna check Laser Bridge at this rate?
I mean, if you go out to do Big Chest and you don't go to do Laser Bridge, there's something not adding up about your decisions. I wouldn't have done either, but if you're gonna give me one of them to do, I'm doing Laser Bridge. In fact, it is probably less time to get 4 times as many chests. I don't think there's anything wrong with checking Laser Bridge. I think checking the Big Chest is a little bit slowly.
Yeah, you're still on Bootless Master Sword Silverless. I get not wanting to be on Bootless Master Sword Silverless.
What do you mean come back after? Yeah, they're just in I don't want to do Silverless Ganon mode. There's no coming back. All right. Well, Laser Bridge wasn't for us today. We're gonna take our exit.
What did he get? 3 of the chests there?
I think it was 2. But yeah.
And note that Freddeh is still not in go mode.
So I'm sure we have potions, but I would not have wanted to spend them here instead of on Master Sword Silverless Ganon.
Oh, well, this is definitely GG's. Freddeh hoping for a Turtle Rock Ice Rod.
I mean, it's already been curtains, but yeah, this does not feel good.
But that said, we have a way for you to waste your channel points. There are some number of locations in GT Basement and some number of rooms, and you can get points on them, or you can spam numbers in chat if that's your thing.
Can't even hook climb up GT.
We'll find out. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, just complain about boots. You go ahead. I wasn't gonna say anything of value.
I was gonna say, well, we'll find out what's fire-locked in TR.
It's the boots I'm quitting.
Yeah, the boots are in GT. Probably after Moldorm. Hey, there's a Bloomerang.
That's exciting.
You know, I feel like with all the GT smalls, I would probably do full left and then go right.
Why?
Seems like more checks sooner.
I mean, I think that this is going to get you the most checks. I think that like the big risk in general with going hope right route is when you don't get a key, and then Compass has something of value, because then you're doing full right.
Well, there it was. 5 checks in. Oh, and there's our second ice small, which is worth absolutely 0.
But when you have the key, I think that hope right is probably your best route.
Compass Room just paid out nearly 40 to 1.
Baby, big points. Can you do with points on this channel? You can probably gamble them.
And you can highlight messages.
We should take that away. Just let people gamble them.
Oh yeah, Freddeh never did Spike Cave, did he?
I guess not. I was in Hera Basement apparently. We are.
Oh right.
Not having a fun time. I was informed at one point that there's slot machine games, like mobile slot machine games, and there's nothing you can do with, like, you can pay real dollars to get slot machine currencies, but there's no no conversion the other way.
Right. Yeah, all you can do is play more slot machine games.
So it's very similar to this, where you could take your points and do absolutely nothing with them. And apparently we really don't like the GT climb because we are using bombos. It's probably meant to be a fire rod.
We've already determined that both of these runners really like bombos.
Okay, never mind. This was meant to be bombos. We don't have boots. We don't have tempered sword. We just don't want to have any part of this.
Feels bombos, man.
He is waiting and doing, yeah. Waiting for all of them to spawn so he could get a spin on all of them at once.
Or miss all of them at once, as the case may be.
He got the first spin. Alright, cleans up.
Hey, Freddie has enough hearts that he can just cheese Spike Cave.
Yeah, without the boots.
Well, hook shot, you know.
Yeah, it's just like you could do it on like I think 13 hearts with boots and good dashes, but I don't know what the number it becomes without boots.
I think it's just 14 without boots. Uh-oh.
Maybe you can do it on 12 with boots.
Okay, so he's setting up for the extra checks in pod, but he'd better check Saha on the way. You know, at least be in go mode by the time Maniacal finishes.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be... I mean, given Maniacal does not have Tempered Sword, I suspect this will be, he'll be in GT.
Well, there are 4 more checks where Maniacal could get Tempered Sword or boots to get Tempered Sword.
Yeah. I think it's... Okay.
There you go.
Never mind. Now we're hoping for silvers. Which is fine at this point. Like, that makes Maniacal's life a lot better.
Yeah. Now you just have a regular NMG Ganon fight.
Yep, nice NMG bootless Ganon.
But with a cape.
That's true. Though you probably don't want to use the cape since you're doing it silverless.
Also, well, we have the lamp. We never did find half magic.
Nope. No half magic. I'm not sure how full our bottles are. No boots, no silvers. So, I mean, it's not a hard fight. It's just not fun. Which is more or less my description of most bootless encounters. That would be funny, Tam. That would be...
Well, there's phase 2 already, and hey, he is using the cape.
Yeah, I think that if it was the other warp position, if Ganon was a little higher, then you don't need cape. But it's hard to get the 1-on-1 without boots in that position.
And we got plenty of blue goo.
Yeah. And the other sword we do know is on the library.
Funny how you see a sword in the first 5 minutes of the game and never actually get it.
I told you it wasn't going to be important. Why even bother looking at what's on the library? You know we're walking for the next 2 hours.
Yep, time to use the goo, but we're like halfway through phase 4, right?
I mean, this is not going to be a problem. It's like not going to be the cleanest of Ganon fights, but it will not matter.
Get your GGs in for Maniacal, who will, assuming he can cross the bridge, take his first win of this tournament. And Maniacal finishes with an official race time of 2:04.54, and we can let this seed burn in hell. We are joined by our winner, Maniacal. GG. You're muted, by the way.
Good call. I was like, I was checking if I had push to talk on. But yeah, thank you. GG to Freddeh. This seed was a mess, and I regret having generated it.
See, you should have let me roll.
Clearly. I didn't think I typed exclamation point qualifier race. But we pulled from the wrong pool here, unfortunately. So yeah, seed was a little wild. I felt like, for the most part, the things that I did worked out for me. Other than delaying Hookshot Cave, I actually felt like I got to most of the things in, given how bad they were, a reasonable sequence, and kind of got through it somewhat efficiently. When the answer wasn't go back to pod Eastern aggressively, then I felt good about it. Like when the only accessible bow ended up being pretty buried.
And there's the forfeit from Freddeh, by the way. And he's going to do GT anyway.
Yeah, he's gonna find out where stuff is. He's been feeding the item locations in the race time.
Have we gotten fed the boots yet?
I don't want to spoil the fun. I mean, there's some bonus content on the right screen here.
Honestly, one of the big things that worked in your favor, though you then, wound up giving some of the time back, but you noped out of TR after getting Swamp Small.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty big play for me in this one. I felt like that was a fairly strong choice, honestly. I liked the call because Swamp Small exactly was... So I was looking at finishing Mire, Green Pendant, finishing Pod Eastern. So there were 5 items there. Pyramid Fairy for 2. Those were behind being unable to save my TR Bridge portal. And then 10 in Swamp behind it. So I was looking at basically 2 out of 3 items that were down off the mountain, and a 3-to-1 volume off the mountain that would prevent the portal save, so it didn't make sense for me to continue on the portal save. I was like trying to run the numbers as soon as the Swamp Small popped in Chomps, which is why I took the Spiral case before I was like, oh yeah, it's right to leave. Yeah,
well, and you also, vacillated a bit about whether to even go into TR after you got the bow and Samaria out of Hookshot Cave.
Yeah. And I was just like, just be efficient, just go into TR. And I was looking at it as Bow and Samaria are still portal save.
Hey, and there's silvers in Stalfos room in GT basement.
So I decided if the portal save was going to go off the table, that that was going to be sort of my break condition for leaving TR, because otherwise there's not a lot of cost to just jamming TR there, but because it was swamp that was left off the mountain, it kind of got ugly.
Did you consider going to big key chest only? Because that's where I was sort of at. Is I probably would have stayed for everything, but if I was gonna leave, I probably would have left after big key chest.
Did consider. Obviously decided against.
Yeah.
I just thought, how much do I want to do here? And then I thought, well, everything is linear from here. There are some small branches, but like playing through to mimics, I'm just going to say, well, I'm priced in to play through to laser bridge at this point, and the odds that both ice rod and fire rod are going to show up here are pretty grossly small.
Yeah, I mean, I will say it doesn't need to be both that show up there, right? It just needs to be either one that then locks one of your other dungeons.
Sure. Yeah, like if ice rod is in Skullwoods, then like that's a disaster for me, right?
Yeah, but
because
I
I'm
mean
doing all of swamp.
But that's that's fine. That's a risk that you're taking. Big key chest does feel like not that far off from where you were, but also going over there and then riding the pipes back feels bad. So you would have saved that ride back at least.
If I do big key chest, though, I'm like at least going to want to do Mimic Cave and Big Chest, because it's like +2 checks that are right there, and then like how far are you from Chomps, and you just gamble the whole way down to Laser Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was priced into that gamble at that point, so there was no reason for me not to do it because I had just died to Cold Stare, so...
Yeah, GG, Freddeh.
GG's.
This was... What a mess to see, dude. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, I love losing 2 Fad keys to Ice Rod hunts in a row. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, this one strictly probably wasn't the Ice Rod, but... Ugh.
Yeah, your avoidance of desert didn't help matters.
Yeah, that was probably... I mean, it was always the next thing on my list, and then something would show up. It's just one of those... Like, oh, I'll do it after Swamp. Or, I don't even after Swamp. I was like, oh, I'll do it. Let's see, Pod happened.
Swamp Big Chest happened. That was what really broke me.
Oh, I was reaching at that point.
Swamp Big Chest happened before Desert?
Yeah, sure did.
Oh my god, dude.
You were
hookshot way earlier than me then.
Oh, I got hookshot really early, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Freddeh...
Yeah, because he took that early Cold Stare death that meant he already had hookshot
I
on the way to dying to Cold Stare.
Yeah, let's see, I got mitts. So I did, I skipped Desert Area, I guess didn't have book, but I did Pod after Aga. Then went over and did Hype Cave all the way over to Thieves Down, Skullwoods Dip, and Graveyard Ledge. And I think I got mitts in that sequence somewhere, I think, right? And then went to the mountain to get... Mountain had the mitts.
No, Mountain had... Skullwoods Big had the mitts. Mountain had the flippers. The hookshot was in Ice Palace.
Oh, flippers. That's what it was. So I got the flippers and went to Ice Palace right after.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. And for anyone wondering, my death was me thinking I had 3.5 hearts when I in fact only had 2.5 or 3 apparently.
Yeah.
Too focused on the hammers.
I did the same thing in one of the qualifiers.
Nice boots.
Boots, by the way.
There they are. Check it out. Cool seed.
10 out of 10. Oh, and Half Magic in right above Ice Armos in Bob's chest. Always also fun.
Oh, so GT Basement had all the goods.
Oh yeah, no, it was great.
And then I don't know if Maniacal told you, but there was a sword in Mini Helma.
Yeah, he mentioned that. I'm like, well, I knew where one of the other swords were. Sure wasn't looking forward to friggin' Master Sword Silverless though.
Clearly just rushed GT in this one, right?
Clearly. Yeah, but yeah, Desert was... I was thinking of doing it after Swamp, after the Turtle Rock dive. But then I got, I think, the Thieves Town Big, and the Fire Rod. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to do Thieves' Town and Skull Woods because I may as well walk from Swamp. That's faster than walking from Sank by a good amount.
Oh yeah,
I
so
guess
you
maybe not
were
by that much, but I still had
yeah,
Smith Chain as well, so I grabbed Smith Chain real quick. Yeah, it was just a mess from that point. If
yeah,
I would have gone to Desert like I was thinking about it, I was like, I'm a big key from being able to finish it. I don't really want to do this.
yeah, the desert small key was pretty conspicuous to me early, and so I just had it on my radar. And so when I had Mirror and was down
Yeah.
there scouting Bombo's tab, I just went in to do that whole region.
Yeah,
And
no, I had that chain in my head for probably an hour. Just never had the opportunity. Or rather, I made the choice to do 8 checks in 2 dungeons instead of half checking a dungeon that I'd left for an hour already anyway.
at some point, that's what Pod turned into for me. I just was fortunate that the answer wasn't Pod. It kind of just broke in my favor.
Fair.
Because when the Pod small keys all started to show up, I was just like, okay, well, I've got 3 items just hanging out in Pod that I can go get at any point. But I didn't want to go back before I got the bow, and then I was late to Hookshot Cave, so I was very late to Pod Eastern. If one of the 3, either the 2 6 small locked or the big chest in Pod had been something,
Oh, I
would
never.
have felt real bad.
Yeah, I never checked those either. Though that was my. I was going to go there next after, but obviously Ice Rod sidetracked me. But yeah, no, I ended up finishing Pod with 3 keys, I think.
Okay.
Because I got the bow fairly early.
I had all 6 by the time I went back.
Yeah, I think after I did Turtle Rock, I did Swamp, Thieves Town, Skull Woods, Pod, and Eastern all in one, basically all in a row.
Yeah, for me, the sort of sequence was Mire, Green Pendant, Pod Eastern, with getting Ice Rod, and then Swamp, and went back and got Fire Rod and went up to Turtle Rock.
Gotcha.
It was my first trip
fair.
on Dark Mountain with the hook shot. So I did separately go up to finish Hera and do just Super Bunny, but then once I got hook shot and went up, I did Hookshot Cave and Turtle Rock to the Swamp Small.
Gotcha. Oh, so did you not do Super Bunny your first trip up there too?
I did Super Bunny with finishing Hera. I didn't have the mitts or the Hera Big my first trip up the mountain.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Or I guess my second trip up the mountain. The first time I just went up to rescue the old man before doing Aga.
Yeah, I did that as well. I did a quick check of Spec Rock. I was going to do it. I was really annoyed because I was going to do it right after I did the south route through CAC, and was like, "Oh, this is probably a good opportunity," but I didn't get the lamp. I'm like, I don't want Flute to show up somewhere and it feel really bad. So instead, I get the lamp shows up and I feel bad anyway.
At least we had lots of rupees to pay off Sora.
I at least managed to only double dip Eastern, so I'll count that as a win.
Okay, I had Eastern, Pod, Desert, and Hera multiple dips, I think, and I guess Turtle Rock technically, but like you had to.
Well, yeah,
and Mire actually, because I went into Mire without Kane. So I was and Thieves. Jesus, I was double dipping everything.
Yeah, no, pretty much everything was a double dip this seed.
I mean, I had Flute, so I was just chunking time save there, though, given that there was no boots for mobility.
Actually, I think I literally doubled. Oh no, I didn't double dip Mire. I double dipped everything but Mire that seed.
I guess
full cleared Mire.
Swamp for me counts as a single dip, I guess, if you go back in for left side right away. But otherwise, I don't think you could get away from like the way the items were in this seed was just kind of a disaster.
It's fad keys. I expect to double dip most dungeons anyway, so I'm not really shy about doing it.
Fair.
I wasn't. I don't know. I went from tilted to kind of like, okay, maybe this is okay from the Ice Palace to Hookshot Cave play, but then the Ice Rod hunt and not going to desert for too long cheered me. So, just gotta win the next race.
And I'll do my best to get another W tomorrow. I've got my game 2 versus Schultzer, so see if I can take one down.
That'd be interesting. What are
Yeah.
there? Are there actually any implications to that at all?
I think at this point there are no implications to that match.
I think the implication or is oh yeah, because Telethar has
Yeah, because
2-0'd
Telethar will
Schultzer.
2-0 him. So even if he's 4
so even
and
if
2,
he gets to 4 and 2, and if you split the series,
if I win, I'm first place in the group regardless, because I have the 2 over Telethar.
Yeah, you versus Schultzer is straight up for a spot in brackets, and if you win, you get first place over Telethar, and if Schultzer wins, Telethar gets first place over him.
okay, I haven't worked it out. So
oh yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
So I guess my game tomorrow has absolutely 0 implications.
Yeah, because even if you
It would
beat him, I
seem
can
that
still
way.
have the 0-2 against him. Yeah, so it'll still be fun. Hopefully.
I mean,
Hopefully better than this one. It
I
can't
guess-
be another Fad Keys. Let's go with that. Neither of our races can be another Fad Keys.
Can it though? Was
think.
Schultzer's most recent one Fad Keys as well?
Yep.
Yeah, our race yesterday was also Fad Keys.
Okay, then yeah,
With an ice rod
we
on.
won't have Fad Keys.
He also did Fad Keys against me today.
The worst.
God.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Man,
we had one Fad
sense of
Keys
humor,
in
I
our-
guess.
in our 10-card deck, and something about it.
That sounds about right. And the worst part is, Fad Keys is my favorite mode, and it's just destroying me.
I felt really I really like playing boots modes, and I like open mode a lot, and so I felt really good about getting boots and open hard, and then I was just losing. Could not lose in this tournament.
Yeah. And Open Hard's one of my least favorites as well, so
See, I
It's all about them
It's cursed
50-50s.
for sure. All these heart pieces, but my race for Schultzer, I think was the open hard, and it was a late boots in TR where you basically hit go mode, but it was a Moldorm bounce go mode.
gross.
And so I felt pretty good about it, and then the hover was fine for me. The hook shot, God knows where it actually was in that seed, and so I felt good about it. And then looked, and I'd lost by 3 minutes. I was like, oh, okay, because he'd gone aggressively into hookless pendant swamp and gotten the mitts and followed them to all of the items, and so I died to going into pendant Skullwoods. So rip Dunka.
Rip.
Yeah, this one, don't have too much else to say about it. I think it kind of spoke to its true character.
Just
already.
burn it.
Yeah, just delete this one.
But that said, we should probably wrap. It's after 1 a.m. here on the East Coast. I know you folks are Central and Pacific, but I'm Eastern.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds good. Thanks for staying up late to comm and crew this one. Shouts to Pixcalibur doing the tracking. Really appreciate it. And Freddie, GG. Good luck in your last match for Schultzer.
Yeah, GG's, thank you. Good race.
yeah, GG's again to both of you. Please do give our runners a follow here. Both great guys, certainly. And again, thanks to Pixcalibur. And Telethar, thanks for suggesting this. It was nice to do comms with you.
Yeah, it was great. GG's to both of you. It was a good race to watch.
And GG's to you clinching your bracket spot in the process.
Sure. Yeah, it would have been a better race if you guys had boots, but
Yeah, I was gonna say it can't be that much fun to watch with no boots.
My left and right thumbs are not happy right now.
It's
Must
much
keep
better to watch
pumping.
without boots than it is to play without boots.
Yeah, 125 minutes of just pumping
Yeah,
everywhere.
good times.
At
Couldn't
least
even
I
get
had to
hook
sleep
shot for half
most
the
of it.
seed.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, we don't have anything to plug for Restream most of the day tomorrow. That the next officially scheduled Restream is 9:10 p.m. Eastern, Orange versus someone on SpeedGaming Main. But keep your eyes peeled for the schedule. I have to imagine some other games, some other matches will wind up getting Restreams before then. Just going to paste that in the chat. And of course, follow SpeedGaming and SpeedGaming 2 through 7 so that you can be updated on the latest. But I think that will do it for us tonight. So thanks again to our runners, and thank you all for watching, and have a great night.